You've seen it in your mind 1,000 times. The life where you wake up calm, confident, purposeful, where your days are not dictated by stress, comparison, or noise, but instead shaped by clarity and quiet strength. You've pictured yourself finally breaking free from old habits, from shallow conversations, from the weight of pretending to be someone you're not. You saw it so vividly. But here you are, still here, still circling the same starting line. And it's not because you're lazy, not because you lack dreams. You've read the books, watched the videos, said the affirmations. You've tried to raise your energy, align your frequency, manifest abundance. But if you're honest, you're exhausted, not from dreaming too big, but from carrying the weight of not becoming who you know you could be. So what's the real reason nothing changes? Maybe the world isn't ignoring your vision. Maybe it's simply responding to the truth of your inner state. Because you don't attract what you wish for. You attract what you are. How many times have you imagined a better life, only to wake up in the same one? What if the gap isn't outside but inside? There are two kinds of people walking through life. The first live mostly in their heads. They visualize, they plan, they daydream with intensity, imagining all the different versions of a better future. In their minds, they've already built the business, transformed the body, broken the cycle. But when the moment comes to act, they hesitate. They wait for the right time, the perfect motivation, the green light from the universe. They confuse thinking with moving, wishing with becoming. The second type lives differently. They don't need everything to feel aligned. They don't wait until the fear is gone. They carry doubt, but move anyway. They act as though the life they want is already true because it is true, in the way they show up for it each day. The Stoics would call this living in accordance with nature. Not nature as in trees and rivers, but human nature at its highest form. Reason, integrity, daily embodiment. They knew you cannot think your way into becoming someone new. You have to prove it through action, through repetition, through effort. You don't become strong by imagining strength. You become strong by lifting what's heavy, over and over again, especially when you don't feel like it. The world doesn't respond to what you wish you were. It responds to what you consistently are. Think of frequency not as mystical energy, but as your personal signal broadcasted every day through your thoughts, your tone, your posture, your habits. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, calm over reaction, clarity over confusion, you're tuning yourself, not to the cosmos, but to your true identity. In Stoic terms, this is alignment, where your thoughts match your values, where your speech reflects your beliefs, where your actions confirm your intentions. Neuroscience agrees the brain doesn't change through grand moments of inspiration, it rewires through repetition. What fires together, wires together. Each decision strengthens a pathway. Each habit becomes a vote for the person you're becoming. So, if you feel stuck, it's not about needing higher energy. It's about bringing your daily patterns into coherence. You must live like the person you keep saying you are. Because you don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. The more you chase something, the more you confirm that you don't have it. You run toward success as if it's running from you. You seek validation as if you're empty without it. You want peace, but carry tension in every step. The Stoics never asked, "When will I have what I want?" They asked, "Am I living like someone who already has it?" This is the shift. from chasing to embodying, from needing to being. To chase is to admit a gap. To align is to close it internally, long before the world notices. A man who keeps asking, "When will I be respected?" is already misaligned. The one who acts with dignity, regardless of applause, doesn't need to ask. True confidence doesn't come from results. It comes from self-governance. The ability to stay centered when nothing outside of you is certain. The ability to choose what's right even when it's not rewarded. The ability to feel enough not because the world agrees, but because you do. That is Stoicism. Not a theory, not a feeling, but a way of walking through the world that says, "I will not chase what I can build from within." Power isn't always loud. It doesn't need to announce itself, dominate a room, or win an argument. True power is coherence, when your thoughts, your words, and your actions speak the same language. When the way you move matches the way you think. When your inner code is so stable, no environment can shake it. This is the Stoic way. To live with such inner unity that nothing external has the power to fragment you. No temptation can pull you off path. No chaos can lure you into reaction. No applause can make you forget who you are. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Because when you do the right thing consistently, quietly, you become trustworthy to the one person who truly matters, yourself. And that's the foundation of all influence. You don't attract what you want. You generate what you are. You shape the world not by chasing outcomes, but by becoming a presence so aligned it shifts the room just by walking in. You don't become a warrior by imagining the battlefield. You become one by stepping into it, again and again, even when your hands shake. Visualization has its place. It can point you toward a future worth striving for. But at some point, you must close your eyes, stop picturing, and move. The mind can simulate, but only the body can prove. Epictetus didn't say, "Picture yourself wise." He said, "First tell yourself what kind of person you want to be, then do what you have to do." That is the Stoic discipline, not becoming obsessed with what you don't yet have, but learning to live in alignment with what you already value. Even if the world hasn't seen it yet, you practice as though it's already true. This is not pretending. Pretending wears a mask and hopes no one sees behind it. Embodiment has nothing to hide. It is the quiet power of a person who doesn't need to convince you, they show you, by how they live. You thought the answer was somewhere in the future, that if you could just visualize hard enough, feel positive long enough, believe deeply enough, life would finally shift. But what this journey teaches us is simpler, not easier, but clearer. Change begins not with what you want, but with what you practice, not with what you expect from the world, but with what you demand of yourself. This is the Stoic path, to train your mind to observe before reacting, to move with intention, not impulse, to become someone so internally clear. Your presence reorders the chaos around you, not because you force it, but because you embody a stillness others forgot was possible. You stop waiting. You stop proving. You stop asking for permission. Instead, you build, you become, and you return, each day, to the same quiet place within, where values are not spoken, but lived, where clarity is not wished for, but earned, where freedom isn't given, but created from the inside out. You don't need to announce your evolution. You don't need to tell the world, "I've changed." If it's real, they'll feel it. If it's true, you won't need to explain. The most powerful transformations are the quiet ones, the shift from noise to stillness, from convincing others to becoming undeniable. Let them wonder why your presence feels different. Let them notice the steadiness in your eyes, the simplicity in your voice, the discipline in your day. Let them realize without your words that you are no longer trying to become something. You already are. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it, because in the end, no one believes what you say. They believe what you consistently live. And if your actions speak clearly enough, there's nothing left to prove."